Hello, I have not been filming for, I want to say, a week and a half. I got back from Italy on Sunday night, barely, almost missed my flight, literally running to my connection. My bag got here yesterday. It did not make the connection, but it is fine. I am back home. I've had the most amazing trip. My heart is so full. I've just honestly the trip of a lifetime, and I want to chat about it. I did ask you on Instagram if you had any questions about the trip, about the house, about work, about anything. Honestly, I want to say like I'm an open book. I don't know if I'm an open book. I am somewhat an open book. Let me get a primer. I'm just gonna do my makeup. I am wearing this super fluorescent. Can you tell that it's like giving a green cast on my... I love this one. I got this from Zara, this top, and it's like so fluorescent, but I love this kind of fluorescent clothing. I just think it's so fun. And when I opened my closet this morning, I was like, yes, this is the one. But now that I have my makeup back and all my brushes, because they were in my checked luggage, I want to sit down and I want to talk. Some of you had, well, most of you had some really, really fascinating and fun questions. And also some of you had some a little bit like digging questions. So I'm gonna zoom in, I'm gonna answer your questions. We're gonna talk a little bit about the trip and life and stuff. And hopefully I'll do a good makeup look. I did pull out, I have so much unused makeup right now, but I did pull out the new palette from Arttitude Cosmetics. It is called Metamorph. Oh, I still have the plastic in here. This is what it looks like. I know there's supposed to be another shade. I don't know which one. I think it's this one. I did not exchange my shade, and I don't think I will. So I think I will just avoid the dark blue and I'll use the purple instead. I think that's what I'm gonna do, but I'm very much looking forward to using this palette. And let me zoom in and wet a sponge. Wet the sponge. I only have one sponge. Wet the sponge. I'm still using this sponge, this one, the Cinch Beauty sponge. This one is still dirty. I brought this on a trip. I'm still using the sponge that I had. Does it even have? Yeah, this is the first sponge I had that had the embossing Cinch Beauty in it. I've had this sponge for such a long time and there are no nicks in it. Gotta say, pretty proud of that. I will link the makeup that I'm using down below. Some of this is going to be makeup that I traveled with. Some of it is going to be like this one is the Nesamaya's Yummy Skin. It's going to be stuff that I wore just before I left. And a few things are going to be new things. I'll try and mention how I feel about them as we go. But I got a lot of questions, of course, just asking like, how was the trip? But this one also says, how was Italy? Do you have travel plans for 2025? And first of all, the Italy trip was incredible. I was not worried. Some people were telling me like, oh, were you worried? Like the people that went on the trip with me, because I did a subscriber, I like to call it friends trip, and some people have been like, it's not a friends trip, it's a meet and greet. It's not a meet and greet. This is a trip for people who wish they had a bigger group to travel with, for people who want to know more people like me. I thrive getting to know more people, and I knew that since most of you watching this are just really fun, cool people, I knew that the people that were going on this trip were going to be fun, cool people. So when the participants of this trip were asking me, were you worried about the trip, like of the people going on the trip? I actually just, no, I wasn't, because I knew that the people going was going to be like my kind of people, and they were. Oh my god, if you went on the trip and you're watching this, which I'm kind of assuming you are, thank you for being so smart, so fun, so open, and just the things that you shared with me, it really means a lot how you were able to like share some of your experiences and share some of the things that have happened to you in life. And I feel like just such a bunch of like just smart, funny people. And we had a big age gap. I think we have 25 to 65. I think that's where we were. We were celebrating a 65 birthday on the trip. I am editing the vlog. It's going to be up later, and I'll talk why it's going to be up later in a little bit. But yeah, everybody was getting along, and so many of you were telling me what a great group it was, and how like you were getting along with people, and how you've made like friends for life. And that makes me super happy, because that is what I wanted. And I like we're still talking in our group chat that we have had. Some of us had a little bit of a bumpy ride home. I was running to my flight and they literally closed the door behind me. I was like, because I almost missed my connection. But I wasn't worried that the people that were going was not going to be good people. But I will say the reason why I did something like this, because this is not the first time that I've been asked, can you do a meetup? Can you do a meet and greet? Can you do a dinner? Can you do like all of these things? Or like, let us know when you're in the town so we can meet you. And I thought I wanted to share with you just like quickly why I haven't chosen to do something like that. And I'm not saying this to be like excusing myself. I'm saying this to be explaining myself. When I was younger, and if I'm gonna be totally honest, I have been avoiding looking into whether or not this is still going on. But when I was younger, I had a stalker. And it was about as fun as you can imagine, which is not very fun at all. And this person, I never saw them in real life. And I don't think they ever tried to seek me out. And I say think because I don't know. It was absolutely unhinged. It was a woman. So it's nothing like of a, like that's like sexual or romantic nature, but it was someone who just really didn't like me. And they made several different accounts online, impersonating other people, making discussions with themselves. Like they were doing a discussion and then they did another account that would answer, and they made this whole like just discussion with, quite honestly, just lies. And it was like just trying to instigate making people dislike me. And at the time, it was really worrisome because sometimes I would get hundreds of comments. And it was just so frustrating. And I tried to play it off when it was happening, but this person used the same kind of language in all of their comments, even when they were pretending to be someone else. They would also contact my friends, my people that were close to me, saying all kinds of weird stuff. And they actually even contacted my workplace trying to get me fired, saying a bunch of lies. And my boss was really upset by this. And he said, because my boss I had a really good boss. And they said they wanted to go to police, but I actually don't know if they did, because I was so embarrassed by it. It was so embarrassing. But also now that I'm older, I can admit, because I was trying to be a little strong back then, it was really creepy. And I was scared that this person would just like, you know, take it to the next step and actually try and find me. And I can now admit to myself and to the world that it was scary. And this is also one of the reasons why I never read threads or forum things about me, because I am afraid of how I will feel if I recognize that language again, if this person is still writing about me. And I think that it is totally okay for people to like, you know, do whatever they want and say whatever they want. I get some really mean comments sometimes too, and it just like, I'm not saying that that is okay, because I don't think it's okay to be mean to anyone. If you don't like anyone, just like, you don't need to tell them. That's honestly just kind of mean. And saying that you don't like someone by being mean to them just shows that you're the bad person, quite honestly. But I'm afraid to go into forums and see, because the things that this stalker would say about me were kind of damning. They were always trying to like dox me. They were always trying to make up stories about me and my friends, and stories about me and my then boyfriends or my now husband. And it was just really scary. And I will say, people always say like, oh, influencers or creators, they always bandwagon, but nothing makes people bandwagon more than hearing something negative about someone that they already don't like. Everybody is looking for something to justify not liking a person, because you are allowed to watch my channel and think like, this person is not for me, I don't like them, I don't jive with them. But then they see something online that like, oh, this person is this or this person is that, or I've met this person, or this person has been talking to me and they said so many rude things to me. And people never ask for like, oh, where's the proof, and like, can I see the receipts? They're just like, I knew it. And I never read these forums because I am so afraid that I'm gonna recognize the language of this person and just be back in that again. And maybe I am opening myself up to that now just by mentioning it in this video, but I also am I'm over being afraid of this person just making up stories about me, because it was not fun back then. And when I say back then, I literally mean years. So many years. And I did go to the police to like get some kind of like how can I deal with this, like get some help. Back then, like online crimes weren't really that looked into, and a bunch of people just did not really know what to do with it. So I will say the help that I got wasn't maybe the best help, but I wanted to say like, this is why I'm choosing to not do stuff on my own. This is why I'm choosing to do stuff like I did now with Trova Trip, because I have someone there, someone that has the information of everyone that is there, someone that, like, you have to upload your passport when you are going to this thing. I don't get to see your passport, but like, it feels safer, because yeah, if I'm gonna be honest, from what I have seen, things can get a little creepy. And I had, oh my god, my brow pen is out. I need to find a new brow pen. There's a little left. I've had the best time with Trova Trip. Everything was so organized. The guide we had was so sweet. She really like just fit in with the theme. She was so professional and so sweet, and I really liked her. And I liked the hotels that they chose. They were very Italian. And overall, I just had like the things that we did, like I'm gonna show you the vlog. It just was like really, really like beautiful and fun. And she helped us so much with like reservations for like restaurants and stuff for the nights that we didn't have any like group dinners. And yeah, she was just really helpful, because of course we wanted to like dine together, even though we don't have a group dining things. Like I went on this trip to meet new people, to hang out with people, so of course we want to like hang out. And I will say, oh my god, I really need a new brow pen. I will say, I feel like I've really gotten the time to hang out with everyone. And I did already edit my vlog, but I did notice I should be better at like capturing moments. But also it's like, it's this thing, I should be better at capturing moments, but then it's the fine line of like, but you also want to be in the moment. The moment itself is more important than capturing it. It's rough. Did I answer anything yet? Let me get a new brow pen and we can talk about my travel plans for 2025. Because I actually already have some. So for 2025, I have a couple of trips booked. I am going to Italy again, but I am going for Cosmoprof. So that makeup fair, the biggest one is in Italy, in Bologna, and it is in March. So I am going to do that one, and I'm going with another like makeup brand owner. So that one I am doing, and then I also am going to 2 different creator and friends that I am booked for. And one of them is in, I want to say April, and the other one is in September. Yes, I'm already booked for September next year. And then I am going to be doing another, oh, there's a hair here. I'm going to be doing another trip for Trova Trip, because I had so much fun on this one. And I would want to do another one. And I did let you all vote for where you wanted to go. And I haven't launched, as I'm filming this, I haven't launched the trip yet. But as soon as I do, I will put it in the description box of this video. And I will put it in like the community tab. But I already know that the place that won is Greece. So we're going to be going to Greece. And I am hoping to do May next year. So we have a long time to prepare, and also like we're going before the season this time, because last time I just pretty much listened to what everybody wanted to do, like the budget they wanted, the destination they wanted, the time of the year that they wanted, how many days they wanted to stay away, like all of that was what people voted for. And they voted for, I think, around a week, Italy, and they voted for September and August. But I am going to Australia with my husband in September, so I unfortunately just did not have time for another longer trip then. So we did August instead. And I know some people on the trip said that like because of that they were able to come because of like, you know, school and all of that. So I am really excited that we were able to get all of that together. But this time I'm gonna have a little bit more time ahead, and we're planning for Greece in May. We just need to get like the details sorted. I have someone asking, do you have social anxiety? If yes, then how do you handle it? Not really. I actually thrive in social situations. I am not afraid to talk in front of a bigger group. I am not shy. I have no problem like approaching new people. I can feel a little insecure if someone gives me the impression that they don't like me. Then I can feel a little insecure, but overall, I don't have social anxiety. That's not something that I am bothered with, and that's like one of the reasons why I was so excited about something like this, because I knew that I was going to be thriving. I brought this bronzer to Italy, and like I'm feeling like we are about to be like done with this one. We are really getting down there. Oh, this question is from Amy. She was actually on the trip. Was the trip everything you imagined it would be? Yes, and I even better. It's like I said, it's not that I didn't think that we were gonna get along, but we were such a good group, and we really got along in a big group as well. We just had so many laughs, and I just had such a good time. And also, like, there were a bunch of things on the itinerary that I had already done. Like, I've already seen Florence, I already seen Rome. I mean, I love seeing it again. It's like two of my favorite places in the world. So I was, of course, super excited to do that again. But I had never left Florence. So we were able to go out to a winery and get out like in Tuscany and see Tuscany. And we went to this like super cute medieval village, and I was just smitten with how everything looked. And I'm so excited to hear that you were feeling the same, because everyone was just like, I can't believe how pretty it is here. And it really was just absolutely beautifully stunning. And I think I said like 50 times, I'm like, I could live here, I could live here, I could live. Oh, it was so beautiful. And then like the Fiat 500 thing, I saw that on the itinerary, and I actually just like, I can change the itinerary if I want to, but I was like, I have no idea what that is. And I've never done anything like that in Rome, because of course I've been to Rome so many times. I think this might be my 7th time to Rome. So I've done so many things, but I've never done that. And my husband is like, what is that? And I'm like, I think it's like a tour with one of those old cars from the 70s. And it was so cute. It was so adorable. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to like really show you in the clips that I had how cute it was. Everybody was driving with their windows down. We were like talking in between each other. They were going in those like really like narrow alleyways, and they then stopped up on a hill, and we got to see the view. And it was just, oh my gosh, it was just so cute. And the group pictures that I have from that are just absolutely stunning. Oh, and we got a tattoo. We went to a tattoo place. Let me see if I can show you. I'm having my sweatpants on. Can you see it here? I got a little lemon. It is so cute. It's my little lemon. And we went, 5 of us, after Colosseo. A lot of people wanted to go home and rest because it's been a warm day. But 5 of us walked to this place that was like close by that took drop-ins. And we just got tattoos. So, oh, let me get a blush brush. Me and Victoria got exactly the same lemon. She has hers on the wrist. And then Samantha and Angela got a little gelato cone on the wrists. And they are so stinking cute. So stinking cute. And it was just so lovely. Amy was with us as well. And I hope you feel inspired, Amy, to get a tattoo in the future. Maybe it's in the cards for you. But that was just such a fun experience. And I'm so excited about my little lemon. And also one of the most wonderful things on this trip was that, and that's why I have edited the vlog, but I don't think I'm gonna upload it yet, because in my goodie bag, because I brought half of my suitcase going to Italy was just things for the goodie bag. And I'll talk about that in the vlog and I'll show you. But one of the things that I put in the goodie bag was one of the new things that we are launching with Cinch Beauty. And it's launching next week. And I was so thrilled to be able to share that with the people on, because I got it in early and I was able to put that in the goodie bag. And I was just so thrilled that like they were the first people to see it. Not the PR list, not the internet, they got it first. And I told them like, it's not a secret. If you want to share it, like feel free, because I'm gonna have the reveal probably on Monday next week. And then I'm hoping to launch it at the end of the week. But that's why I'm like, maybe I shouldn't put the vlog up yet, because I am showing it there, and maybe I should just wait a little bit and just be like, they get to be the first with the secret for a little bit longer. Ooh, Bebop Bug is asking, was there anything that now feels surprising about Europe after being in the US for so long? When it came to Rome, there was a couple of things that I remembered not costing that now cost. And I was like, I don't remember paying for that before. So that was a little bit surprising. Other than that, not really. I feel like I fell into the groove pretty quickly. And it felt really nice, because there are things, of course, that like Americans miss when they are in Europe and the Europeans miss when you're in the US. And it's not necessarily that one is better than the other. It's just that like what you're used to, what feels like home. So there was a couple of things that I really enjoyed, like not having all my drinks watered down with ice. I don't like the amount of ice you get in the US, but the US feels differently when they're in Europe. They're like, where's the ice? So it's like what you're used to. And I also will say that one of the things that I really like about Europe, and somebody did ask about that, is that the milk and milk products are less sweet, because in Europe we pasteurize at 70 degrees Celsius, and in the US you pasteurize at 100 degrees Celsius to make stuff last longer, but it also brings out the milk sugars more. So the milk and milk products in the US are just naturally sweeter, and I prefer them to not be, because it's what I'm used to. I did bring this new Fenty lip liner on the trip as well. I have it in this traced out in peanut butter, and I will say it's a really nice liner, but I think it's a little bit too creamy. It's one of those that just, I know people are like, oh my god, it's so creamy. I think it's too creamy. It does dry down a bit though, but I feel like it's hard to be precise with something that is this creamy. And it also doesn't keep the sharp tip, so I prefer something that is not as creamy. But if you like a super creamy lip liner, maybe this is for you. I'm gonna do just an orangey gloss, because why not? Or this is a balm. I saw that these Fighter Glow lip balms are now available at Ulta, the ones from Naturium. I think they're so nice. I absolutely love them. This is from Joy, your favorite moment of the Italy trip. Joy is going to Samantha's trip in Greece in October, so I cannot wait to meet you again, Joy. It's going to be so much fun. I am so excited about that one as well. And I think my favorite moment in the trip was probably all those times where we just sat down and talked about life, talked about like our upbringing, our expectations of life, where we were going, how we met our partners, like rough stuff that we've been going through, just comparing life experiences. I feel like I learned so much about different ways of like growing up just by the discussions that we had, and just like hearing about how people met each other later in life, and just like how nothing is impossible, and like how you got through some rough things. It was really inspiring and just a big teaching moment for me, and I will never take for granted people sharing stuff like that with me. It really did mean a lot. And also like, thank you for listening to me when I was sharing, because I never will take that for granted either. So that was definitely special. I also saw that Lindsay, who also went to the trip, left something. Where are you, Lindsay? I saw you here. I just want to say thank you so much again for an amazing trip. I loved our group, and I loved our group too. It was so much fun. Everybody just fit in, and we just, yeah, had such a great trip, which is what I really hoped it would be. And I'm so excited that that is what happened. It just absolutely amazing trip. I wanted to just jump in because when I was editing the video, I noticed we had a question from another participant in the trip, which was Desiree, and she had a question that was asking what was like my biggest takeaway from the trip, like what did I learn. And I think for me, I think that this trip really made me realize that I have built a really nice community around me of people, and I already knew that. I've said that so many times on my channel, that you are the smartest, kindest, just respectful people out there, and this trip just made me really feel that like I have really like got this community around me of just really kind people. And even if you never end up like, if I never end up meeting you in real life, just know that I talk about how funny, how smart, how kind you are a lot. I show your comments to my husband, to my friends. I talk about you to other creators, saying what a lovely community we have, and how most of the time the comment section is just absolutely lovely. And I get that comment from you a lot as well, saying that you read my comment section and just find really just insightful and funny and respectful comments. And I really felt like going on this trip and meeting a bunch of you made me realize that yes, this is truly the people that I have been able to find online. And I wasn't able to film that for my vlog because, like I said, either soon in this video or I've just said it, one of the things that I realized when editing my vlog is that a lot of the things that maybe would have better captured the moment or like the feelings of the trip wasn't captured on camera. But at the end of the day, the importance for me is to be in the situation, not to show you that I was part of the situation. And I think sometimes it's okay to just lean back and feel and experience without feeling the need to document it, which is a hard balance to do when you are a creator. But I also don't want everything in my life to be documented. But yeah, I think that's the thing that I'll take away from this trip, how just you can go on a trip with 20 people and it's just 20 awesome people. That sometimes the world can seem like rough and it can feel like there are just mean people out there or disrespectful people out there. But at the end of the day, most of us are just normal, kind, fun people. And there are more of us out there than the other one. And I think that we sometimes forget that. But yeah, I wanted to say that as well. Thank you so much for asking me that question this video. I really appreciate it. Okay, back to the video. I will do some swatches of this Arttitude Metamorph palette. What do we want to do? So I'm thinking this one, the dark purple. I kind of want to do we want to do purple or should I do the green? Because I'm having this green top. Would that be fun? Because I feel like this is like green. It's like an iridescent green purple, I think. So maybe that will fit together really well as well. So maybe this one. Should I do this one then? Okay, I'll start with the dark one. As you can tell, I clearly know what I'm doing. I clearly have already thought about this and know what I'm doing for sure. I saw some people asking also about the picture. In the picture for this, like on Instagram, I was wearing this blue gingham dress and it is actually from House of CB, and if it's still available, I will link it down below. I absolutely love the dress and I think it's such a beautiful one, and I got the bigger cup size because you can get a bigger cup size with House of CB, which I really enjoy. So remind me if I forget. But I did buy the dress for the trip because I knew I wanted something like that. Ooh, the battery is needing of an exchange. Miss Disney was asking me, how much money did you make from the trip? And we do get compensated when we travel through TrovaTrip, when we do a trip. But for me, like doing the trip, all the meetings that you're in with TrovaTrip, and then like all the planning ahead, making sure that everything is the way it's supposed to be, taking time off working a week. I know Samantha brought work there, but I can't work when I'm on the go like that. Like nothing good comes from a situation like that. You do get compensated for the time that you are putting into the trip, and for like almost like an affiliate program where it's like if you use one of my affiliate codes, you get a discount and I get a kickback for referring you to this like affiliate code. Usually the referral is somewhere between 3 or 10%. That's usually the referral bonus that you get. And I think that everybody knows this by now. And it is the same with Trova Trip. When you refer someone, you do get a kickback from that, from referring people, and also for the time of you like going on the trip. But I still have to pay for my own flight tickets and the food, that like some meals are included in the trip and some are not. So the ones that are not, as with everyone else, like I have to like pay for those myself as well. And with the time that I have put into this trip and going and all of that, there are much more lucrative things I could be doing with my time, with that time, if it was to make money. Even just doing a couple of sponsorships would make me more money and take me less time. So the reason why I'm doing this, and I've said this before, but I think sometimes if you look at this and you're like, this is something I would never want to do, I think it's really hard sometimes to understand why it's everything somebody else wants. Because for me, I really thrive on hanging out with others. Like I said, I have no social anxiety. I love hanging out with others. And for me, this is a dream come true. Going on a trip, meeting people for the first time, and just hanging out and sharing life experiences. For me, that sounds like a great time to me. It sounds amazing, but for some people, and I've even gotten some comments from other creators, which I honestly, some of them have been a little off-putting, like literally been like, ugh, I would never want to travel with my subscribers. And I'm like, I am so sorry that you don't like your subscribers, but I really do. And I had the best time. And I think that if you feel like that, it could be really hard to understand why somebody would want to do that. But I don't feel like that. I actually had a great time. I was looking forward to this a lot. And the main reason I do it is because I want to do this. And because I want to feel like safe. And one of the things that you are paying for with Trova Trip is, of course, the guide. Because they get paid, like, of course, a salary for being there, which makes total sense. But it's also like a security, not only for me, but for other people on the trip. So yes, I am getting compensated for, like, I don't want to say selling the trip, but like referring the trip. But I mean, I also do have to put in some time. And if I wanted to be like a part of, I'm never going to be like a travel influencer. I've seen some people that do several of these trips a year, and that's like what they do for a living. Personally, I never want to do, I don't want to travel as a job. I don't even want to do lifestyle as a job, if I'm going to be honest. And that's probably why I've been vlogging less as well, because I've realized that like, I just want to be in the moment. I want to be in the moment. I want to travel, and I don't, and you probably see that on my stories too. I'm never the person that like shares a lot of my stories because I want to be in the moment. I'm the person who shares other people's stories when they're doing stories where I'm in it. I'm like, oh, I'm so happy you got a picture of this, because I clearly did not. So I'm not very good at being a lifestyle creator, but I'm very good at being in the moment. I am very good at that, and I am excited about being better at that as well, because it's not about a show and tell. It's not about me showing you that I can be in a moment. It's about me being in the moment. So the Trova Trip thing, even though yes, I did get compensation for it, if I wanted to do this as like part of my business, or if I'm like, oh, I need to make the most or the easiest money for my time, that is definitely not what I've been doing. That is not the easiest money I've ever made. It is more a compensation for time, like work time. I don't want to say lost, because it's not time lost. I've had much more fun doing this than anything else, but that was the whole point, to have fun. And if my goal was to make it a part of a business or to maximize profit or anything like that, I would not be doing trips like this. I do it because I want to, because I like this. I like meeting people. I like meeting you, but I want to make sure that I do it under like safe circumstances. And I know that if you feel differently, it is really hard to grasp, like, why would anyone want to do that? But I just think that sometimes we have to be a little open-minded, that not everybody feels like the same way as others do. This is a totally different question, but this is, what advice would you give to people looking to move to Europe? And I would say, if you're looking to move to Europe, it is not the same rules in every country, because Europe, even though it's the EU, it's all different countries and they all have different immigration laws. And some countries have very strict immigration laws because a lot of people want to move there. And quite honestly, unfortunately, right now in Europe, they don't want immigrants. Even the working immigrants, they don't want them. So it can be a little harder than I think some people realize to move to Europe right now, because things are cheaper there, and in some ways it might be an easier way of life depending on what you're looking for in life. But I know for Sweden it will be impossible, of course. Most people we take in Sweden are refugees, and that's not going to work from the US. But we do have work immigration, but you have to, I would say the easiest way to move to Europe is to start working for a company that has offices in Europe. That's probably the easiest way, because work immigration, like showing that you have a specific skill so great that they have to hire you from the US and not someone from Europe, because like your skill is so special that they have to like get it from outside of the EU. That is probably the easiest way to move to Europe, or marry someone in Europe, I guess. Well, in Sweden, you don't even have to marry them. You just have to want to live together, and you could get into Sweden. But I guess that's not super easy if you have a spouse. Hard to like convince them maybe that you're moving without them. But yeah, it's not super easy, but it's definitely doable. Ooh, this one is interesting. Does Ricardo get upset when you travel without him? Not really. He gets a little jealous. But I always ask him if he wants to go. The problem with Ricardo is that he works a lot. And the reason why I travel a lot is because we are in the US because of him. Like, he's the reason we're here, not me. I wanted to move to Greece, but as you can tell, we're not in Greece. So he's the reason why we're here, and because he's working a lot and he can't really... I'm trying to find something to use as an inner corner highlight. Maybe I'll just do this one, the lily one. I just want to have like an inner corner highlight. So he doesn't mind me traveling, meeting people, like having fun. And a lot of it is for work as well. Like I went to Vegas for Cosmoprof because like he knows that I took a big leap of faith coming with him to the US because of his work. And he also knows that I was super, super lonely before. And I know that he's just super happy for me, that I get to meet more people and hang out with them. Because, yeah, I was really lonely in some ways in Sweden. I had, my best friend still lives in Sweden, but she doesn't live in the city where I lived. And she lives in a city that I unfortunately really do not want to live in. Sorry, Lisa, I don't want to live there. And I had some crappy friends, one of them who tried to kiss my ex-husband while we were still married, which is clearly one of the reasons why we're not friends anymore. And yeah, I know he's just really happy for me. And I also talked about, my husband is in academia and he's doing a postdoc. And even though he has a doctorate, he's still in the lower tiers of academia. And you don't really make a lot of money in academia like that. You make, do I not have a mascara here? Like you make a living, but he is nowhere near 6 figures. Let's just put it like that. And nowhere near 6 figures. So if it wasn't for me, he also wouldn't be able, because I am, and I can be honest about that, I am the breadwinner in our family. And I know I won't be forever. At some point, like I am gonna make less and he's gonna make more. And I know that he is very grateful that because of that, we don't have to live in a dorm. We can have 2 dogs and a cat, which we wouldn't be able to afford. We can live in a house. We can still go on vacation if we want to. If clothes break, if a computer breaks, if something breaks, we can buy it. Our vet bills are insane because Tesla keeps getting sick all the time. He actually got sick when I was away. And he knows that it's not like I'm holding it over him that I am paying for stuff, but I know that he is very grateful. And I know that he is very happy for me then I am able to meet friends and have fun. And we are here because he wants to work. So clearly he's not going to take time away from the thing we came here to do, which is his career, building it for the future. So yeah, he is super, super supportive. And he is excited. And I mean, not the next trip because I am going to Maine, but the trip after that, I am going on our yearly vacation with Ricardo. And we're going to Australia because he has a conference there. So I am just going to be going with him, and then we're staying so that we can experience Australia a bit. Although I will say, the last week now, we've been talking about on this trip are those big spiders in Australia, and they're not selling me on the whole continent, let me tell you that. I gotta say, I think this makeup look turned out pretty fierce and pretty like I am back in my makeup room doing what I love, which is colorful, bright, bold makeup. I did have a couple of more that I got, per usual, I get quite a lot of questions in these, so if I didn't get to yours, I'm really, really sorry. I tried to bring up the ones that I think like most people would be excited in hearing. And this one is a little interesting because it says, I saw you in Orlando at Volcano Bay and I was nervous to say hi. If we see you in person, should we say hi? I was at Volcano Bay with Ali Dawson. If you see me in person and you want to say hi, never feel like you can't like come up and say hi. If I am like in a very weird situation, or if I'm like sitting down and doing something, like I think that everybody knows when it's okay to take up someone's time or not, but it's always okay to come up and say hi. I would love to meet. I mean, I do these trips because I want to meet more people, and of course, like I talked about before in the beginning of the video, sometimes what has happened to me before in my life can make me a little apprehensive and a little nervous, but overall I am just really happy to meet people. I want to meet more people, so definitely don't feel afraid to do something like that. And then a lot of people were asking about Cinch, and I did mention a little bit in the beginning, and that is happening next week. Finally, I've been working on these products for so long, so incredibly long, and it's just, yeah, I knew things took time. I didn't think it was gonna take this much time. I also got a question that was, what is on my travel bucket list? And I feel like I've been able to like check up off quite a few the past couple of years. On my bucket list is still, I want to go back to Japan because that was truly one of the most amazing trips I've ever done, and I want to go back. And I know my husband wants to go back as well, so that's something that we are doing. I also really want to go on an Alaska cruise. Like, I really want to go on an Alaska cruise, and I also really want to see Hawaii. And there's a couple of more like parks that I would like to see as well. Oh, I have a new perfume here. Maybe I can wear that one. This is the Vetiver Éclairate. It is from L'Artisan Parfumerie, and this smells like tomato. This is even better than the Maison Margiela's replica one. It is so absolutely fantastic and wonderful, and if you love tomato perfumes, definitely check this one out. I will link it down below. Maybe you can get a sample somewhere, maybe you can go sniff it in store. I love it so much. But I also have some places I want to see, like in Europe, which I am going to do once we move back to Europe, if we do move back to Europe. I always say like once we move back to Europe, but nothing is written in stone. Honestly, if we end up, I love this house so much. I love this house, and if I could bring this house that we live in right now to wherever place we're moving, I would, because I think it is the perfect house for us. I absolutely am smitten with my house, and that's one of the things that makes me a little sad, knowing that Ricardo's career most certainly will take us out of Austin, is that I will miss this house so much. I really, really love it. I am so happy in this house, in this neighborhood. But when we move back to Europe, some of the places, if we do, listen, who knows where we're ending up. Maybe we will end up in Canada, which is Ricardo's dream. I want to go to Scotland. I want to see more of the UK altogether. I've never been to Ireland. I really want to go to Portugal. That is on my list. I also would like to see even more islands in Greece. My mom loves Croatia. I would love to see Croatia. My husband thinks that we should go to Warsaw, and also there are some other like places in Poland that he's like really recommending. So that would be super cool as well. There's a couple of places I would love to see, like Bali, Thailand. I know my husband's on his bucket list is Vietnam. So of course I'm not going to be able to see all of these places during my lifetime, but it's still nice to still have places that I want to see and places that I love so much that I can see myself going back. Like Italy, of course we will go back. Ricardo still has family there. So I had the best time. Thank you so much for all of your questions. If you have any questions, please just put them in the comments. Try to keep it respectful and kind. We are all just humans here trying to do our best, and sometimes it does get a little heated, and I would like to avoid that because the world is rough enough as it is. There's no need for us to be mean to each other, but I hope you're having an amazing day, and I will see you again on Friday for new makeup releases. I know I missed last week because, well, I was busy, and I was thinking I was gonna do a live, but then I was like, no, I'm gonna be in the moment, and I'm just gonna enjoy this instead. Like, this is what I'm doing right now. So we're probably gonna have a pretty juicy new makeup releases on Friday with a bunch of different things, and I will see you then. Bye!